But first, we go to Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. And let me just say, the Yuji Nagata hoodie, about 100 times cooler than the new FAF5 shirt that Brock Lesnar is sporting. I mean, it took all of 6 seconds after Paul Heyman was trying to get this over last week that you knew this was a whole line of merchandise coming your way. I look forward to the cowboy hat that has FAF5 written all over it. And yeah, cool.
Yeah, they might have had it before the promo.
Well, I'm sure it was all done in synchronicity with itself. So I thought the big key to this is he comes out and this whole place is chanting Oba. I mean, Oba feels like in some ways, I can imagine, like, if you were to survey fans at this TD Garden, what is the biggest match at WrestleMania? I think this might be the number one most anticipated match for a lot of fans. It feels like the big showdown of WrestleMania. Like, you've got all this time dedicated to all these different programs. This one is very simple. It's like, it's the two monsters squaring off, and it's this rise of this Oba Femi that this audience sees him as like, the world is this guy's oyster at this moment. Like, this is a huge match for Oba Femi, and it was a very simple build-up, and everyone seems to be into this.
There's a lot of freshness to Oba Femi right now. You know, a very Goldberg type of appeal about him, and positioning him against, you know, the guy who's sort of been that Goldberg character for the past, 15 years, 20 years is, I mean, already a bit of a dream match, I would say, for many people. And certainly one of the ones that is most intriguing on this show. Mm-hmm.
So Heyman explains that the only reason Oba Femi was able to put Lesnar down last week is because Lesnar had just taken out 20 masked men, then was distracted by Seth Rollins, allowing the overhyped wannabe ruler to take advantage, and says this is the same old message from the WWE hype machine about the next big thing. He lists off all the people who never got the job done at WrestleMania, mentioning The Undertaker, Goldberg didn't do it, Braun Strowman, Dean Ambrose, and boy, did this get a reaction from the crowd, Bobby Lashley, AJ, Cena, and says it won't be Oba Femi either. His peak was last week, pointing at the sign, and he will get conquered. So out comes Oba Femi, huge reaction, and he steps up to Lesnar, who tries for an F5, but Femi bounces off the shoulders, clotheslines Brock to the floor, and Heyman holds back Lesnar, who's got the smile on his face. A lot of smiling members of the WrestleMania card to bookend this particular show. But very simple segment. Again, I don't know how much more you really need to do between these two, but you've got a month, and Brock is back on the show next week, so they have more segments. Under one roof, I don't want to see these two men sign a contract. That is my one provision.
They're certainly pacing this one to maybe be, have enough juice to fill 4 more weeks. How many more weeks? 3 or 4? 3 more. How many episodes?
3 more episodes of Raw.
Okay.
3.
So it's not so many, but I mean, with this feud, you don't need that much more than what you already have here. And the physicality this week was very simple. It was like,
look at this fall. Holy Christ.
This was like, like a Royal Rumble elimination, right? But it was enough to generate
This should have been the Royal Rumble elimination if we knew where we were going.
Yeah,
remember who
honestly
eliminated Brock?
It was LA Knight and Cody Rhodes, something that didn't amount to anything. So this was very simple physically, but it was enough to generate, I would say, a pretty memorable reaction tonight. They are suggesting through this week, through last week, that Brock could be the underdog. In fact, I think, from these 2 weeks, you would say Brock is the underdog. That's exactly what Cole and Graves, were saying. So by wrestling logic, by having Oba Femi be this strong, to me, it might signal that he is losing at WrestleMania.
It feels like the most WWE move that Oba will lose this match. And
like we're going to give Oba the entire feud, but he's going to come up short, which I mean, could be a tremendous mistake, but they could have Brock Lesnar go through this entire build on the losing end and lose the match, which I think would signal that they're, first of all, very committed to Oba Femi, and that they're not as committed to Lesnar's value for that much longer. So let's see. I mean, 3 more weeks, they could still certainly have a lot more back and forth, and they probably will have a lot more back and forth, but they're doing a great job so far.
If if you did all this work for Brock, like he rampages John Cena, and the idea is like you're building him up for one big loss, like if not Oba, who? Like who would you put in? Like it just seems to be this seems like a very simple one for me. And if the question is, well, like what do you do with Oba afterwards? Like I don't know. He's like super over at this moment. Let's maybe ride this and just see how far we can go with it. Like this is not a guy that is, just all smoke and mirrors. He can't work. It's like this guy can be put into a lot of different situations. He's not some limited performer who can only do a couple of things. Like he like we've seen what he can do. And to me, it's like, I don't know if you're going to have a better candidate than this to be the one to knock off Brock.
I suppose like that question and whether or not like they will give the value of Brock Lesnar to somebody else, I feel like will also be determined by Brock Lesnar's longevity in this company, in this business. How much longer is he sticking around? Because if he's going to be sticking around that much longer, they might see more value in just having a stronger Brock Lesnar go up against whatever baby face they've got on the other end in the next years or so. But maybe he's not.
Yeah, he's either back to fuck around or he's gonna fuck off.
That's right. Yeah, or F5. Yeah.
The Post Wrestling Cafe is your one-stop shop for all of the coverage that Post Wrestling has to offer. 2 big rewind aways this month with WWF Insurrection from May of 2002. This UK-only pay-per-view featured the Raw brand going overseas and ending with the infamous plane ride from hell. Then we're going to take a look at AWA's Super Sunday from April of 1983. A new edition of Talk Can Be Yours, plus MCU Later, Book Club, and coverage of UFC 326, TNA Sacrifice, and of course, XL editions of Rewind a Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown with all the news of the day. Join now at postwrestlingcafe.com.